Okay, we are officially on to Unit 8. So today we're going to be starting with line plots and creating line plots and what that looks like. So I'm just going to write creating line plots, page 97. Okay, so for today we're just going to be taking notes. You're not going to be working on any problems on your own. You're just going to come to class and we're going to keep creating more. Today's lesson is mostly just to get familiar with how to plot fractions on a line plot in real life situations. So I'm going to write today I will create line plots. Okay, we're gonna draw a table. So we're gonna write rainfall in inches over 10 days. And then we're gonna write out our 10 days. So I'm gonna draw a box. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna split it in half. And I'll do 4 lines because I need 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I'm gonna give us our different inches of rain each day over 10 days. So each box represents 1 day. So 3/4 on 1 day, 2/8, 4/8, 1/4, 1 whole, 2/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 0 inches, so nothing that day, 2/8 of an inch, and 1/8 of an inch. And then these are the 2 questions they want us to answer. So I'm gonna write Q1 is how many days did it rain 2/8 exactly? So not over, not under. 2/8 of an inch. And then question 2 is how many days did it rain more than 1/2 of an inch. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is list out all of our numbers. We're going to take each number and list them out horizontally. So step number 1, list numbers. So I have 3/4, 2/8, 4/8, 1/4, 1, 2/8, 3/4, 0, 2/8, 1/8. Okay, now that we have them all, in order to appropriately see how much, like they want to do 2/8, well, we have 2 different numbers here. We have some fractions are out of 4, some fractions are out of 8, and then we have a whole number. So what we need to do first is go with the common denominator. We want to go with 8 because that's what they want us to compare it to. So some we're going to have to convert to a denominator of 8. Some we can just stay the same because they already have the 8 as a denominator. So 3/4, well, to go to 8, 4 needs to be multiplied by 2. So times 2. What we do to the bottom, we do to the top. So times 2. So now I have 6/8. Okay, 2/8 I can just bring down. That one's good. 4/8 I can just bring down. 1/4 I can't bring down without converting. So I have to get to 8. So 4 times 2 is 8. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So now we have 2/8. Okay. I can keep 1. 1 is just 8 out of 8, right? If we're working with 8s. 2/8 I can just bring down. 3/4 I can't bring down. So multiply by 2 to get my 8 as a denominator. Do the same to the top. So now I have 6/8. 0 is just 0. 2/8 and 1/8. Okay, now we can plot them because they all have the same denominator. So I'm going to stick them on a number line. So step 2 was convert to common denominator. Now we're on 3. So we're going to plot on a number line. Okay, we don't have any, the only whole number we have is 1, so we can just make one big number line, starting from 0 and ending at 1. So 0 is going to be here, and my 1 is going to be here. So I'm going to have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 out of 8's there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then my 8 out of 8 is 1, right? That's the same thing. Okay, now I need to plot my numbers to see how many days actually did it rain 2/8 and how many days did it rain more than half. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm just going to go up here and start plotting them and then crossing them off so I know which ones I've used, because you don't want to repeat or forget about one. So I'm going to start over here, 6/8. Now I'm going to plot, and I'm going to put an X because we're plotting for, we want to figure out days. So the X means one day it rained 6/8 of an inch, one day it rained 2/8 of an inch, one day it rained 4/8 of an inch, another day it rained 2/8, and I'm just going to draw another X. One day it rained a whole inch, another day it rained 2/8, I'm going to put it on top. Another day it rained 6/8, one day it rained a none, another day it rained 2/8, oops, and then one day it just rained 1/8. Okay, so question 1, now we can answer our questions. How many days did it rain 2/8 of an inch exactly? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it rained, not 4/8, 2/8 of an inch. Four days. Okay, and then question 2. What's my question? How many days did it rain more than half of an inch? Okay, so we got to think. We have 0 and 1, and we got to figure out which plot is half of that. So let's see. Can any of these fractions be converted to 1/2? That's what we're looking at. Where does our 1/2 fall? Well, we know it's going to fall somewhere in between here, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3 on this side, 1, 2, 3 on this side. So let's look. Can this be converted to 1/2? Well, 8 divided by 4 gives us 2. Does 4 divided by 4 give me 1? Yeah. So the half is right here. So this is my halfway point. 4/8 is half of 8/8, which makes sense, right? 4 plus 4 is going to give me 8. Okay, so now I need to think, how many days did it rain more than half an inch? So not half an inch, but more than half an inch. So this day doesn't count. So I only have 1, 2, 3 days because it says more than half. So it rained more than 1/2 an inch on 3 days. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to be working on the next couple days, is just taking a chart and basically converting them to common denominators and sticking them on one number line. Okay, all right, see you tomorrow.